All right, so I'm doing a quick video. It's kind of a follow-up to the charging system test video that I did a few days ago. Anyway, I got this comment from Mopar Lover. He said, your battery does more than just provide electricity. It also shorts AC spikes and transients to ground. Removing the battery from the circuit allows those spikes and transients to travel around, endangering every semiconductor circuit in your car. Not a good test to perform on any car. Okay, so I am not trying to say I know everything and I'm correct in that I don't make mistakes. But I think a semiconductor is something inside of a computer. And as far as I know, there is no semiconductors and no computer stuff inside the 69 Coronet. I do have an electronic ignition system on it. Is there something in there that's got a semiconductor? Something in the voltage regulator? Something inside the alternator that's got a semiconductor? I don't know. Maybe? I doubt it. Anyway, I'm not saying this guy's wrong. He's probably right. And I'd never do that test on a modern car, for sure. Because there's so many computer crap and electronics inside those cars, you'd probably damage something inside of a modern car. So my video was specific to old school Mopars, like I would say mid 70s and older. But I do have a friend who is very knowledgeable on this kind of stuff, on a lot of automotive stuff. So I reached out to him and I thought I'd ask him what is his thoughts on this guy's comment. He said, yes, true. Even more on a modern car, old wives' tales of removing the battery leads is a bad way to test. Think of the battery as a sponge. It absorbs energy. When you take it out of the equation, where does the energy go? Well, on an older car, pre-1980, not too much of a bad effect. But on a 1980 on computer to run engine, you can destroy drivers in the computer that run things like injectors, timing, fuel pump, and such. Many of the modern turd has been rendered useless by a mouse squirrel chewing wiring that even with the key off are still powered. Even jump starting a modern car wrong can ruin sensitive electronics, causing thousands of dollars in damage. So if it's not a Model T, then it's good practice not to run it without a battery hooked up. There are much better ways to test the health of a charging system. So I wanted to throw that out there in case anybody is thinking, hey, does this apply to my car, which may be a 1980 or newer. So I would say no, do not do this on modern cars. I'm not even going to say do it on your old school Mopar. I mean, I'm not going to change. I'm going to keep doing it because I've never had a negative consequence of doing it. And it's a quick way to test, especially if you're stuck somewhere on the side of the road or in a parking lot or something like that and you don't have all your tools to. There's also another way, which is a simple way as well, if you have a multimeter. So I'm going to show you how to test it, basically doing the exact same test using a multimeter. Okay, so here's the multimeter. So I've got I'm checking voltage, so I got my positive wire here for voltage and my ground wire. And then I'm setting it to voltage. Whenever you see the straight line, that's DC voltage, that's AC voltage. We're checking DC. Cars are DC. I've got it set here to the 20, so my resolution looks like, you'll see the 12 here, or whatever voltage this battery actually has. All right, so obviously the engine's not running. Let's hook this guy up. All right, and then I'm gonna touch the positive terminal here, and it's gonna show what voltage I have. So you can see there I've got 12.42 volts. If the engine were running right now, and that's all we saw, and you didn't see it going higher than that, then your charging system's not working. So let me go ahead and start the car. We obviously already fixed the problem. Our problem was ground at the alternator. So when I start the car up, you're gonna see a higher voltage. It's actually gonna be like 13.5 voltage or so. And you need that higher voltage, even though this is a 12 volt system, that higher voltage at that level to basically keep your battery charged and to run all the electrical systems on the car. Alright, so negative terminal, positive terminal hooked to the battery. Let's see what we got. 13.2. And the fact that you see it bouncing around tells you that the charging system is working. If that were just a static, you know, like say 12, whatever volts it was before, and you don't see any bouncing around, then the alternator is not charging the battery. So there's your more appropriate, proper way of checking your charging system to make sure that it's actually working properly. Like I said, I've never had any problems doing it by disconnecting the battery, but if you have a multimeter, this is the way to do it. And if you don't have a multimeter and you're in a pinch and it's an old school Mopar, we're not talking anything 1980 or newer, I'd still use the removing the terminal way myself, but that's me. So do whatever you got to do at your own risk.